I just want to start this video by apologizing to all of the Justin Fields fans out there. I know there is a lot of you and you can be pretty rabid, but this video idea was just too good to pass up on. Because I had the pestering thought today, what if Justin Fields played running back? There are plenty of things to criticize Justin Fields about, but his athleticism is something that you cannot deny. Just looking at his attributes at the running back position, he's kind of a dog. 93 speed, 96 excel, 93 agility, 94 BC vision. And just so you know, for his secondary attributes, stuff like catching, route running, I just put it up a little bit so he isn't like historically bad. Obviously, none of this stuff is a strength for him, but I put it up a little bit to give him more of a fair shot at running back. Unfortunately, Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren have gone missing and are nowhere to be found, so he doesn't have to worry about anyone taking the ball out of his hands in the running back room. I think I am going to jump into this last preseason game. I'm kind of curious on how a running back Justin Fields is in Madden. All right, we kind of have this play to the outside. Let's see how Justin Fields does. Juke him out. Well, he got tackled. It's all right, though, because we're going to dial up the screen pass. Come on, Justin. There we go. Hey, decent gain. Pitch to the outside. Can he get the edge? No. No, he cannot. Admittedly, I'm starting to think that maybe this wasn't the best idea, but let's see if he can get it run. Spin move. Hey, that was a decent spin move. This is a simulation video, not a gameplay video. If you hear an airplane taking off in the background, that's actually just my PC. It doesn't have the most fun time running Madden. But like I said, this is simulation based, so let's just go to the mid-season point. And we start the season off 4-3, got a winning record. Let's see how we are in the AFC North. We are the 8th seed in the AFC. I don't know why the game is disrespecting my Bengals like that. I definitely don't appreciate it. And if you are wondering, does it hurt my soul to use the Steelers in this game? It does. Justin Fields on the season, 127 attempts, 550 yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 fumble. As a receiver, he's getting you 11 receptions for 64 yards and a touchdown. Pretty decent stats, all things considered. I forgot to import a draft class, so I just took this random one off of the Creation Center. I don't know if it's any good, but it has the names. That's all we need. So far, a pretty respectable start to the season. Let's see if the Steelers and Justin Fields make the playoffs. And we do. As you can see in the bottom left, we are in the wild card versus the reigning champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. As for the other teams, there's some weird things going on. The Colts end up getting the 2 seed, which is surprising. The Bills end up winning the AFC East. No Dolphins, no Jets, no Bengals, no Browns. And in the NFC, the Carolina Panthers have made it to the playoffs as a 6th seed. So that's fun, I guess. But let's see how Justin Fields ended the season off. Russell Wilson had a pretty good year. Justin Fields, in his first season as a running back, gets you 284 attempts for 1,160 yards, 4.1 yards per carry, 11 touchdowns, only 2 fumbles, and 45 broken tackles. To put that into perspective, he is 11th in rushing yards and is somewhere down here in touchdowns. I don't know. I didn't want to count. It's this far down. Shout out George Pickens. Justin Fields only gets 180 yards, but he does get 3 touchdowns. So while Justin Fields didn't have the greatest running back season of all time, it's safe to say he was a productive player. But now the Steelers are in the playoffs versus the Chiefs. Can they win? That is the question. And wow, no, they could not. 37-5. So they got a field goal and a safety, and that was the only points they scored in this one. Justin Fields, 11 attempts for 54 yards. Obviously doesn't run the ball much when you are losing the entire game. And he got 3 receptions for 15 yards. I was about to say bittersweet ending to the season. There's no sweet. I guess they went 12-5, but when you lose 37-5 in the first round of the playoffs, I can't say there's much silver lining there. The Chiefs and Niners find themselves in the Super Bowl once again for the 3rd time this decade. Justin Fields did not get any consideration for any awards, but he is 8th in best running back. I'm pretty sure that Justin Fields was a free agent, so let's see if they re-signed him. And they did. Justin Fields is going to be on the team for the foreseeable future, probably the rest of his career. Obviously not making as much as he would at quarterback, but hey, he is producing for the team. He's not going to be on the bench. He is getting them value. For the year recap, the 49ers finally end up getting it done, winning the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy Super Bowl MVP. I just know that Twitter would love that one. NFL MVP was Dak Prescott. Coach of the Year, Mike McCarthy. Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey. Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Parsons. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Keon Coleman. And Defensive Rookie of the Year is Junior Colson. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I turned everything on automatic. I have zero control over what the Steelers are doing in this franchise. But let's just go to the draft and see what happens. The Patriots are on the clock. Let's see who they take. Shedeur Sanders, I already saw it, commissioner. He goes number 1 in this draft. The Broncos select Jack Sawyer. I don't know who that is off the top of my head. Jalen Daniels goes to the Titans, even though they have Will Levis. He must have had a bad year. Carson Beck goes 4th overall to the Saints. Let's just see who the Steelers take. The Steelers take Jeff Straighten, quarterback? Let's just go to the end of the draft and see who this guy is. Jeff Straighten is a 71 overall quarterback, wearing number 0, by the way. Rookie out of LSU. This guy actually looks kind of like a dog, and he has hidden development. So maybe it's brighter pastures ahead for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They did draft a running back though, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to protect Justin Fields anymore. He's actually going to have legitimate running backs in the running back room with him, and he's just going to have to beat them out if he wants to be at the top of the depth chart. Why is the next option sim 10 years? That feels a little bit extreme. So to start year 2, Justin Fields is up to an 81 overall, up 3 from the beginning of last year, and he still has his star development. And it looks like we are starting the exact same as last time, 4-3. Also, Mac Jones, game of the week in 2024 on the Jets? Actually, I guess it's 2025 now. Also, the Bengals are on top of the AFC, so, I mean, that sounds pretty realistic to me. Let's continue and simulate to the end of the season. And we end the season in the playoffs once again, up against the New England Patriots. In year 2 of their rebuild, they are already the 4 seed again. We end with 11 wins and 6 losses. But who cares about that? Let's see how Justin Fields did. And apparently, Russell Wilson was still the quarterback. He was doing his best Jameis Winston impression this year. Justin Fields, another 1,000-yard plus season, 1,156 with 17 touchdowns. In the receiving game, he was about the same as he was last season. Also, shout out Joe Burrow putting up Aaron Rodgers-like numbers. And also, what the hell? Shedeur Sanders just put up 37 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Also, he's on the Patriots. They have Drake May. Whatever. I thought Justin Fields would be number 1 in touchdowns, but Nick Chubb actually had 23 of them. But let's see, can the Steelers beat Shedeur Sanders, who had the greatest rookie QB season of all time? Can they make it out of the first round? Yes, they can. The game ends 35-28. Russell Wilson had a very good performance, and Justin Fields had 99 yards on only 18 attempts and a touchdown. But now this team faces Kansas City once again. Can they get past them? And the answer is no. It was close though, 24-27. Justin Fields gave 75 yards on 13 attempts with a touchdown, and he did not make the Pro Bowl. George Pickens did though. He's up to 90 overall. That's kind of crazy. This time, Justin Fields was 5th in best running back, so some improvement there. And the Chiefs and the 49ers meet in the Super Bowl once again. And the 49ers go on to win back-to-back, with Brock Purdy winning another Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins regular season MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Don't think that is supposed to happen. Coach of the Year is Doug Peterson. Defensive Player of the Year is Max Crosby. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Brendan Presley, which is confusing me because Shedeur Sanders had like 38 touchdowns. I mean, in real life, there's no way he wouldn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but this is Madden. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Sebastian Light for the Browns. At the start of year 3, Justin Fields is 27 and 85 overall with star development. And for the season, the team ends off 4-13, by far the worst a Mike Tomlin team has ever done for Pittsburgh. Jeff Stratton had his first season, didn't do too hot. 19 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Justin Fields did not surpass 1,000 yards, only having 927 with 9 touchdowns. We do get a new Super Bowl this year with the Cowboys and the Ravens. And the Ravens win the Super Bowl. Super Bowl MVP Lamar Jackson, regular season MVP Dak Prescott, Coach of the Year Nick Sirianni, Offensive Player of the Year Dak Prescott. Again, I don't think that's how that award works. Defensive Player of the Year Max Crosby for the second time in a row. Offensive Rookie of the Year Mac Virgil. Defensive Rookie of the Year Sean Bonds, and these are auto-generated guys. Going into year 4 now, Justin Fields is 28 and still an 85 overall. Doesn't look like any of his attributes have really changed. He might be starting to hit his ceiling. The Steelers again missed the playoffs going 8-9. Justin Fields ends with 989 yards and 12 touchdowns. Definitely not anything special. The second year in a row, he has not eclipsed the 1,000 rushing yards mark. This year, we get the Jags and the Falcons in the Super Bowl. The Falcons take it home 35-28. Super Bowl MVP Michael Penix. Dak Prescott wins MVP for the second year in a row. Yes, the second year in a row. And he won it in 2024. Dak Prescott now has 3 MVP awards. Offensive Player of the Year is Brandon Ayuk. Defensive Player of the Year is Antoine Powell-Ryland. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Brian Brewer for the Browns. We are in the 2027 NFL season, I believe, and Justin Fields is starting to regress. Down to an 80 overall. He also no longer has star development. At the age of 29, he is nearing the end of his life cycle at running back. But there is some good news. The Steelers are in the playoffs again. That sentence just doesn't sound right. As for Justin Fields, another season where he is just below the 1,000 rushing yards mark with 8 touchdowns. Let's see if the Steelers can take it home against the Jaguars. Can they make it to the second round of the playoffs? And they do not, losing 24-13. And this year, KC makes it back, this time against the Minnesota Vikings. Can they win their first Super Bowl? That is the question. And they cannot. Against probably the GOAT of this new NFL reality in 2028. Even though the GOAT did not win Super Bowl MVP, Nick Bolton wins it. NFL MVP is Patrick Mahomes, Coach of the Year, Andy Reid. Offensive Player of the Year, Isaiah Pacheco. The Chiefs just completely swept those top 3 awards. Defensive Player of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson, and we are moving on to 2028-2029. Justin Fields has gone missing, and I have found him on the Saints. 71 overall. He is 30 years old, normal development, and he is 4th on the running back depth chart for them. But the Saints actually end up being the 1 seed in the NFC, with Carson Beck leading the entire league in passing, along with 38 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. As far as I can tell, Justin Fields did not get an attempt on the team, and that is because they cut him and he is a free agent. However, if you look how many running backs there are in free agency. This is what happens after you simulate a few years into the future in Madden. Everyone just gets all the ratings just get very bloated. Everyone's really good. And honestly, this is just sad because the Ravens are playing the Saints in the Super Bowl. This would have been Justin Fields' first Super Bowl in his career, but he got cut. And the Saints actually end up winning a ring. Justin Fields is done completely dirty. Could have been a Super Bowl champion if he just stayed on the roster. Chase Young wins Super Bowl MVP. That is kind of absurd. The The NFL MVP was Carson Beck. Coach of the Year was Bill Duncan, the Saints coach. Offensive Player of the Year was also Carson Beck. Defensive Player of the Year was Micah Parsons. Justin Fields is a free agent. 63 overall, 31. Regression is hitting him really hard. In 2030, the Giants end up taking home the Super Bowl 34-24, with the Super Bowl MVP being Quinn Ewers. I know somewhere Bengal is very happy. The MVP was JJ McCarthy. Coach of the Year Raheem Morris. Offensive Player of the Year Bijan Robinson. Defensive Player of the Year Aiden Hutchinson. Now, unfortunately, it looks like Justin Fields reached such a low overall that it didn't even announce his retirement. But after 8-9 years in the league, Justin Fields has retired. To recap, he had a couple of 1,000-yard plus seasons. The best year of his career, he had over 1,000 yards and 17 touchdowns. The Steelers never made it further than the second round of the playoffs, and he never went to the Super Bowl, made a Pro Bowl, or won any significant awards. Unfortunately, a pretty unceremonious end for this. But that was the Justin Fields running back experiment. Let me know any other things you want to see in the future in terms of Madden Sims. But if you've made it this far into the video, obviously you enjoyed it, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.